Hello there. My name is Governor McCaffey. I'm currently writing this from a cell phone on Riker, because I've been falsely charged with a crime that I didn't commit. What that crime you might be here that I hear you not asking? Well, the crime was a creation of a bootleg copy of Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. The copy was in question and currently we withheld by General R. Asquith and the U.S. government. How could the one little bootleg cause so much of a fuss? Well, here's my story. Get ready because it's quite sad and heartwarming tale. Most of you are aware about, if you are a PlayStation fan, Uncharted is a popular platformer game which was birthed on the Sony PlayStation 3 in 2007 with Drake's Fortune in 2009. The sequel was released, which was entitled Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. Uncharted 2 is consists of by many, including yours truly, the highest point of the franchise. Even Kermit the Frog likes it. He even plays it every night, having a cup of tea and even a crumpet while watching the Coronation Street. Uncharted 2 was originally going to be released for the PS3, but along with Drake's Fortune and Drake's Deception was remastered for the PS4. What's the story of Uncharted 2? Well, go on YouTube and type in Uncharted 2 or look it up on Wikipedia, you lazy sausage roll. I bet you're busy playing with your Xbox some kind of John Marston. That's just sick. I don't mean to diss to the Xbox, but they've got Shrek on standby. So anyways, I've got Uncharted 2 for the PS3 because I'm poorer than Vito Scassolita with his villa got burnt down by the Irish mob. Therefore, I do not own a generation console, well, current much longer anyway. Well, I first played the game when it came out in 2009, and I loved it. I played it when the sun came down, wrote it down, and then the sun came up, and even played it, and his man and his son walked up throughout the whole town, where a man was getting Gatorade by Salvatore Menti. Anyways, after I moved in my new house in Los Angeles, Uncharted 2, as well as a lot of my games, had sadly been lost due to the movie van turning up and missing. I bet it had something to do with the ham of the pig. Yeah, ham. That swine I'll drove him down in olive oil. I ended up forgetting about Uncharted 2, because that was of course the news of the remasters that was leaked into the public. I decided that I would spark up some memories by replaying it. I headed over to my local CEX and asked if they had the copy. The manager took 2.5 hours just to get up from his chair and said, "Let me take a look in the back, son." I took a brief walk around the store to glance at the various games on the shelves. One of them being Shrek 2 on Xbox. I needed that game. I went to pick it up, but I somehow managed to restrain myself. Also, this really smelly kid was holding an Xbox One games, with eating the Maltesers, meaning that he was getting all the chocolate over the games. Oh, that fat salmon sandwich. I was called to the front desk by the manager as he handed me a copy of Uncharted 2 on the PS3. "Are you sure you don't want the PS4 remastered, son?" the manager asked me as I responded with, "I don't own a PS4, so no." The man then proceeded to pull me right up to his face and whisper faints in my ear. Here's what he said. "That copy of Uncharted 2 was edited by my son, who works in a mechanic over for Bakersfield. He added some sweet new things into the game, which I'm sure you'll enjoy." "Okay, thanks," I muttered as I paid the manager, but running out of the store 3 seconds flat. I raced down the streets to my house and was getting chased by neighborhood kids who have been calling out for me since I eat baked beans cold. Yeah, I don't give a damn. Arriving at my house, I flopped onto my couch only to realize that I hadn't actually picked up the game from the counter after I paid for it. "Oh, for Christ's sake," I yelled at the very top of my lungs. I was forced to run all the way back to CEX and pick up my game again. "Back again, are we? I was just about to call you and tell you forgot your game," the manager said. "But I never gave you my number, so..." I was cut off when the manager said, "Hey, since it's almost closing time, how about we play some Uncharted 2 using the TV in the back room? We use it to check on game discs and stuff," the manager said. I should also mention that he was eating toast when he was supposed to be working. Whatever, I decided to agree, and I had nothing better to do with my time anyway. The manager popped the disc into my nearby PlayStation 3, and the game started with the Naughty Dog logo. Then it showed a logo which said Rap Rat Studios, while as its logo was on the screen. A male could be heard saying in the background, the TV is on. He began saying it again in an overly serious tone. Suddenly, Rap Rat's face appeared on the screen and yelled, "Busted! Busted! I'm the talk of the town and the history of the making." Suddenly, the screen then cut to the main menu, which looked normal. I clicked on the new game and it chose hard difficulty as my setting. I was pretty confident in myself that day. Must have been from that Subway I had for breakfast. The next game the game started off with Nathan Drake hanging on to his dear life onto the train, which was about to fall off a cliff just like normal. I made Nate climbed up to the train as normal until we eventually reached the top. That's when the game got cut to the scene where Nate meets up with Harry Flynn and Chloe Fraser. Well, at least that's what I was supposed to be. No, Harry was replaced by Mr. Pumpkin, and Chloe Fraser was General Asquith. "I'm very hungry," Mr. Pumpkin bellowed, and as Nate said, "Harry Flynn? Hey, what are you doing here?" He was acting as if it was completely normal. Anyways, Mr. Pumpkin and General Asquith then proceeded to ask for Nate's help in stealing a box of PG tips, which of course Nate responded with, Then the screen then cut to the part where Nate and Flynn broke through the Turkish museum once again. Flynn was replaced by Mr. Pumpkin. "Come on, Nate, I need the jam," Mr. Pumpkin said, as he and Nate made their way through the museum, killing every security guard along the way. This is where I should mention the controls. They were horrible. Nothing worked. Every time I made Nate the jump, the controller would shake uncontrollably at a violent rate. It was beginning to give my hands quite a nasty rash, I should say. Also, Flynn, or well, Mr. Pumpkin, I guess, never bothered to give Nate the tranquilizer guns to knock out the rest of the guards, meaning I had to complete the rest of the mission without using them. This made the mission even more frustrating, but somehow I still managed to pull it off without a hitch. During the scene where Nate was portrayed by Flynn, Mr. Pumpkin said, "That's terrible. I'm not going back there." He then jumped through a window and the doors that behind Nate swung open. "Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me." A demonic voice could be heard singing as Shrek himself appeared in the doorway. "Oh crap," Nate muttered as Shrek began dancing towards him, with it singing in a demonic version of All-Star. Nate then tried his best to run away, but then gets grabbed by Shrek as the screen cut to black. Music played in the background, which is a saxophone rendition of the Uncharted theme. Oh, it sounded horrible. Well, Kelpie G would not be proud. Then the game came back to normal as Nate was arriving Bomio with Victor Sullivan. However, they were actually at McDonald's and Sullivan was replaced by James P. Sullivan from Monsters Inc. "If I were rich with $1 million or two, Sully sang as Nate replied, "I live in a penthouse with a room or two." The two sang for 2 hours straight. I sat there amazed and continued to sing along for the night. Suddenly the game then cut to the part where Nate and Sully see Zoran Laskovic for the first time. Laskovic was actually having a right to go at Pumpkin for not finding him anything for the last 3 months before getting interrupted with one of his soldiers. Of course, he walked outside and then he changed from being Swell Laskovic to being Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story. Laskovic looked up to see Nate and Sully that were hiding and yelled, "After them, you uncultured swines!" The soldiers then proceeded to chase to Nick and Sully, who then did their best to escape. Mr. Krabs' face then came on the screen and proclaimed, "Oh, you me bucko!" Without a warning, the game then proceeded to cut to a really bizarre clip, which it had a kid talking to his father about an extra strong mints for some strange reason. Very bizarre indeed, I must say, but if you want to let me know, you will know my friend. "Dad, you know there's an extra strong mint family?" the son asked. "Yes, it is very best in the world, son," the father replied as his kid asked. "Yes, but what if there were other mints? Would that be crazy?" "Chewy," the father said in a voice that was cold as ice, broke down the wine glass that he was holding on to a million pieces. "Dad loves soft mints and they love me back. Back away strong mints could never hold." The son explained. The dad then turned around, revealing his head, at which he mused a strong mint and he screamed, "Whoo! What the hell was that?" I asked, while hitting the manager several times across the face of the controller. The manager then asked if I could play for a bit, and I said, Oh, screw you. After that weird clip ended, the game then came back to the show where it shows Nate climbing onto Askovic's train. Nate then fell into one of the many carnages carriages, and saw the conductor was busy punching tickets. "Tickets, please," the conductor said to Nate, who responded with, "I actually don't have a ticket." "Sorry, pal. No ticket?" the conductor asked reluctantly before grabbing Nate by the neck and throwing him out of the carriage through the window. Nate ended up climbing up to the carriage next door. Sadly, the conductor was there too, and he said, "In case you hadn't noticed, tonight is Christmas Eve." He then continued with this, "Now, young Nathan, Christmas may not be important to some of us, but it is important for the rest of us." The rude conductor forced Nate down several cups of hot chocolate. "No more," Nate then muttered as more waiters then entered the carriage carrying cups along with hot chocolate. "Oh, for goodness sake," Nate muttered as he continued to drink the hot chocolate, despite his stomach protesting against it. The carriage eventually arrived at Himalayas as Nate struggled to get off the train. He didn't look like the donut that Drake's skin, which was equipped with a tweak in the game. The thing about trains is that they didn't matter where they were going. What matters is they were deciding to get on, the conductor explained as a really cheesy music began to play in the background. It was so cheesy, in fact, that it actually made me gag violently. "I don't like cheese. How could you do this, naughty dog?" Nate's stomach began rumbling at the alarming rate. "Oh, crap," Nate said as he exploded into a million bite-sized pieces. When Lazavek, who is no longer Mr. Potato, came on screen, he said, "Yeah, that was my plan all along. Give Drake a lot of hot chocolate until he explodes from hot chocolate overdose." From that point on, I was playing the game as Lazavek. Somehow Lazavek made his way to Shambhala and said, "Yeah, smell that air. Smells like ass." He turned around to see right when he saw Colonel Dodo had appeared. Lazavek then attempted to shoot Colonel Dodo for him to say, "Better they're trying a new trick in case if that one gets too old," Lazavek said to his shoulders as they fought their way through the Shambhala, through the whips upon the Colonel Dodo's men, who were trying their best to take ticket for finding Shambhala first, even though technically they were there first, but Colonel Dodo ain't exactly the brightest bird in the swimming pool, so I'm willing to give him a pass, but the question is, are you? Larverick eventually reached to one of the trees to his dear life, and when he began to drink the sap from the tree, that's when he turned into a superhuman like he does in the actual game. However, this time there was no Nathan Drake who could put a stop to old Zoran. Larverick did his evil laugh as the game proceeded to cut to black, and then it came back on to show a montage of Larverick going around town and killing people in sight. He and his soldiers were able to take complete and the control of the world to their invisibility. Lazaverick then ate the earth like a crisp, and he said, "What's the time, Mr. Wolf? Ha ha." I grabbed the PS3 off the table and slammed it over the manager's head. Then that's when General Asquith and his soldiers came barging in. Asquith had his soldiers tackle me to the ground. "Hey, what the heck is going on? Is ye one of you, not mine?" I pleaded as Asquith said, "No, not dear Gossenfer," from the manager. "It is the format. He told me that you made the game. They were planning to use it as a biological superweapon. Now the Earth could use a video game as a biological weapon?" I asked, confused, but it was no use as Asquith had me knocked out by the soldiers. Afterwards, I woke up chained to a wall in the cell over Rikers Island. My cellmate was incredibly a fat man who wears bunny slippers. I reckon he stole them from Bugs Bunny. This, however, I will confirm using the inside source. I will keep some feelers out back at home. When they find out the truth, I'll let you know. I doubt that you would even care, do you? So essentially, General Asquith and the manager framed me for the crime I did not commit. I was also pretty certain that General Asquith arranged me to be given the death penalty as of last weekend. The preacher named Gabriel to pay me a visit. He was incredibly helpful in many of his sins, and he learned about the Uncharted 2 bootleg, as he suddenly became old and very cagey. Trust me when I say this, there was no redemption for lost media makers. I'll be making some cups of tea as I waited for my executioner ready for the axe. That's what I'll do sometime of clucking chicken. And that, my little pretties, was Uncharted 2 Cursed Copy. A Uncharted 2 lost game creepypasta written by Matthew Bumford. Matthew Bumford, I want to thank you so much for the story. It was really good, and I obviously really like this story. Now, let's get on with the story itself. I obviously found this story to be interesting, quite good, by the way. And I obviously found it to be quite funny as well. Now, there are there are a lot of things I do have to say that is good. Now, first of all, if you guys are going to be asking, wait, when you do reviews, is there negatives to the story? Surprisingly, no. I can't find any negatives in this story, and I can definitely say that. Like, I can't really say, I can't find anything negative about it, but I can definitely say this story was actually really good. Like, Matthew Bumford, I have to say you did a pretty good job. Now, I've not played any of the Uncharted games, so I might consider maybe checking it out if I get a chance. I'll probably check it out, but, it's hard to say. But I might check it out. It actually looks like a cool game, so I'll definitely look it up. Now, I could definitely say that the story was actually really good, that there was a lot of time and effort into the story, which is really a good thing. It is a funny pasta, which I can definitely say was funny. And I did hold my laugh in, and I did have to take a few takes because I was laughing so hard. So, for one thing I could definitely say was that the grammar was really good. The storyline, the sentence structuring, the paragraph structuring. The best part about it was the storyline of how it all went out, and even then it went out just as good, like, of how the flow of it just made it look perfect. Like, this is the very good thing what you should always do with your creepypastas, people. Is you want to make them as good as you can. So then that way they're not bad stories. Like, this is the good example. Like, Matthew Bumford's stories are good and perfect examples of, how your story should be good and stuff. Now, I don't understand why that's the case with some creepypastas can't be as good, but I could definitely say, it's just really something. I can definitely say that. Now, I could definitely say that, I love this story. I actually found this story to be really good. Now, it's on Goshia Wiki. Only for Matthew Bumford stories and even Dark Cats and actually Armbrusters, I will ever touch that site. Just thought I would let you guys know because, Geoshia is crap. But at least there are some people on there that do pretty good stories on there. So, I'm going to actually say right now that everything about this story was really funny. Oh my god. I was able to hold in my laugh at certain parts, but I did burst out laughing, I think, part way through the narration. But, I'm going to be completely honest that this story was actually really good, and I actually thought this one was quite enjoyable. Now, it's on Spin Pasta for any of you guys who want to, narrate it. That's totally fine. It's on Spin Pasta. So, let's get started with, wrapping up the review. Now, I actually found this story to actually be really good. There's definitely a lot of time and effort into the story, and that's a really good positive, what I have to say, is that the story actually had really good positives with it, and it's still pretty good, I can definitely say. Now, of course, it's still a lot of the stuff, but however, it's still a really good movie, still good pasta. There was definitely time and effort into it, and for those who want to check it out, it's fine by me. You're more than welcome to check out the story if you want. Now, I'm going to wrap up the review, so like I'm going to say right now, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. It's a great creepypasta, well, funny pasta in this case. It's a really good concept. Everything about it was just flat out amazing. There was definitely lots of time and effort into the story. I really do appreciate it. And it was just really, really good. Now, anyways, what did you all think about this creepypasta? You all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, or funny pasta, what did you guys all think about it? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what would you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Leave me your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you're brand new here to this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell when I upload so you guys won't miss an upload. And like always, please roll the outro because I'm out of here, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out.